Got thoughts of moving to Los Angeles? Well, this video is the one to watch. In this episode, you get to know 8 things I wish I knew before moving here. In this episode, you'll get to know the categories of LA's diverse neighborhoods, a secret travel hack I used to beat LA's notorious commuter traffic, recent changes to the LA dining scene for the better, and some of the challenges with buying a home here. I'm Tony Mariotti, your luxury agent in LA. Let's go. Everyone drives everywhere in LA, right? Well, not so fast. While it's true most folks commute to and from work, and more on commuting in just a second, LA buses carry 15 million passengers a month, and the rail system carries 5.7 million passengers a month. Wait, rail? Yeah, well, despite its car-centric reputation, Los Angeles has a growing rail network, the Metro. I bet 99% of people in the US have no idea that LA has a subway. I sure didn't before moving here. It starts underground downtown and connects above ground to Santa Monica, Pasadena, Long Beach, and parts of the San Fernando Valley. Buses cover a wide range of routes, linking those neighborhoods and filling the transit gaps. Public transit in LA might not rival some other major cities, but it's more extensive than many realize. And I'll admit, being a realtor, most of my travel time is in my car on my way to meetings. However, I do find the subway really handy for my trips downtown and going to football games at LA Coliseum. I'm particularly excited to try the new link to LAX. LA is known for its highways, some of the busiest in the nation. On average, 220 million vehicle miles are traveled here each day. That means heavy traffic, especially during rush hour. If you can work flexible hours, you can time your trips to off-peak periods. Early mornings, midday, or late evenings are ideal. Learning your routes and timings can dramatically improve your daily routine. If you must commute to an office, my favorite hack is using Google Maps to select the bike route option. I've found some excellent, lesser used streets that have improved my travel times. And of course, if you're moving here, it helps to find a neighborhood close to work that fits in your budget. That's something my team and I specialize in when we help folks like you move to and across LA. Be sure to write down our contact information below. You can reach out anytime with questions, phone, email, or text to get started. LA has a vast array of neighborhoods in all sizes and different characters. No two are quite alike, which makes living here very interesting, never dull. Some neighborhoods are quite small, more or less what you might call an enclave that won't even show up on a map. These would also include gated communities. Then you've got medium-sized neighborhoods, including places like Thai Town, Tarangelis, Little Armenia, and Koreatown. These are home to some of my favorite restaurants and vibrant cultural events. Large neighborhoods include areas you may know by name already: Studio City, Silver Lake, Hollywood Hills, Santa Monica, or Venice. These areas have a wider mix of single-family homes, condos, and townhomes. LA is, of course, also home to world-renowned luxury neighborhoods, areas like Beverly Hills and Bel Air, which boast grand estates, gated drives, and manicured lawns. High-end properties command top dollar, reflecting LA's status as a global destination. This contrast, cozy ethnic districts next to exclusive elite communities, creates a tapestry unlike any other US city. By the way, if you're finding this information useful, be sure to subscribe. We make videos about living, sleeping, working, and playing in LA, and you don't want to miss an episode. LA's weather, one of the most obvious reasons to move to LA, and something I've covered just a few times in my videos. So today, I'll give you just one high-level piece of advice. Before I moved to LA, I lived in San Francisco, and LA had been my sales territory. And I knew from all my time spent here that it hardly ever rains. But here's what I found out after moving here. The climate in LA is not as uniform as most people think. In terms of figuring out where to live, pay attention to the city's microclimates. Generally speaking, weather is hottest in the valleys and cooler, sometimes even foggy, close to the ocean. The LA basin is a nice balance between the two. On the west side, there's no such thing as a hot summer night. The nights in LA generally are always cooled down, and you always need to bring an outer layer with you. Those are the general rules. Folks moving from northern latitudes to LA always find it agreeable, and I remember when I first moved here how satisfying it was to golf in January and February comfortably. In past videos, I've also mentioned places to go outside and soak up nature like Griffith Park, Runyon Canyon, and a number of other areas in the Santa Monica and San Gabriel Mountains. There are also the beaches on the west side, dotted with beach volleyball courts, and the Marvin Road Bike Trail, a 22-mile coastal path perfect for cycling, running, or skating. Maybe the biggest surprise once I really got to know LA was that nature is always within reach. Having grown up in a small town, I've always loved and prioritized being outside. If you like the outdoors, it's not something you'll have to give up either. Another thing I didn't consider before moving to LA was just how much I'd be taking in the arts. I'm a big fan of the arts, but I've never had so much access. Did you know there are 841 museums and art galleries here? That's more museums than any other city in the world. The Los Angeles County Museum of Art, or LACMA, is the largest art museum in the Western US. The Getty Center is part of the J. Paul Getty Trust, the world's wealthiest art institution. And while the Getty Center is full of world-class art, even its manicured gardens and hilltop views across the LA basin are alone worth a visit. Gehry-designed Disney Concert Hall has acoustics that turn performances into magic. LA's Natural History Museum holds 35 million specimens and artifacts, the largest natural and cultural history collection in the Western US. Gosh, north of town you've got Norton Simon Museum, Huntington Library, Descanso Gardens. In downtown, you've got The Broad, MoCA, California Science Center, and of course, as mentioned, Disney Hall. What's more, I routinely go to outdoor concerts at Hollywood Bowl and the Greek Theater. Outdoor shows are few and far between where I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. Sure, there are summer festivals, but nothing outside really between November and June. But here, it's year-round. On a related note, I've always been a fan of alfresco dining, which I assumed would be plentiful in Los Angeles when I first moved here. In the early 2000s, there were certainly some restaurants with outdoor areas, but not as much as I expected, especially given the weather here. My experience living in the Pacific Northwest was limited to summertime outdoor dining. And then when I was in San Francisco, there was hardly any alfresco dining, even in summer. As you may know, SF summers are notoriously chilly. It wasn't until COVID hit that outdoor seating really took off in LA, and it's stuck around, which has been a fantastic development. Real estate in LA is notoriously pricey, driven by demand and limited space. Home prices here average over $1 million. One thing that doesn't show up in the data that would be well worth knowing before moving here is how tough the competition can be, especially in prime neighborhoods near the coast and up-and-coming neighborhoods in Northeast Los Angeles, or NELA. With all the competition, accessory dwelling units, or ADUs, offer creative ways to expand living space. Adding an ADU also increases rental potential. Local zoning changes make it easier to transform backyards into flexible spaces. Another hidden element, some rural properties are getting harder to insure due to wildfire risk. In spite of California's income tax, property taxes in LA are favorable, around 1.25%. That's lower than cities like Dallas at about 2.25%. That changes the dynamic for some folks, making the overall tax burden competitive. However, when selling properties over $5 million, a special transfer tax or mansion tax adds to the seller's bill. My own take on the income tax part, I begrudgingly suck it up and refer to it as the sunshine tax. My friends in Florida and Texas say, well, we have sunshine too, and I reply, yeah, but with stifling humidity. And in Florida, alligators. No thanks. If you're looking to buy or sell a house anywhere in Southern California, my team and I would love to be a real estate resource. Call, email, or text us to get started. And if you're currently loading up on as much information as you can about LA, I've got another must-watch video for you. Check out this 49-minute deep dive about LA's areas and neighborhoods. It's a completely thorough look at what the different areas are like. I'm Tony Mariotti. See you in the next video.